Christian Family Radio. We're Derek and Bridget hanging out today with Chris Llewellyn from Rend Collective. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
We are good, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. Yeah, just a full-on morning with the kids. I'll tell you that you come off tour and then immediately are greeted with stomach bugs and toddlers, which is a bad combo.
Oh,
Yeah. That's life. I'm actually glad to be home. It's kind of nice.
no doubt.
It's not perfect, but it's nice, you know.
Yeah. Where is home, Chris?
Nashville now. Originally home was Ireland for a long time, but I don't get back there as much as I used to. Probably only maybe 3 times a year. So yes, Nashville makes a ton of sense for music. So it's where a lot of us end up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good to be visiting with you. Anytime that I see your guys' music or have a chance to connect with you guys, it takes me back to when you guys were first releasing music. I got this invite from Chris Hauser, maybe Matt Engel, or maybe
That
from
sounds
the both
about
of
right.
them. Yeah, to the Hard Rock Cafe in Nashville. It was like a few days after Thanksgiving to hear this band Rend Collective experiment.
I remember that show well. That was our first showcase in America. So really, the backstory for this was that uh, up until like 3 months before that, Rend Collective had been a Bible study. We weren't really a band at all. We did put out a couple of EPs, but that was not our focus at all. So there was like 25 or 30 people contributing to these EPs. But Chris Tomlin had heard them, and so he invited us on tour. And then the whole industry kind of thought that they were missing out on something, like we were a real band. So um, we had to very quickly kind of cobble together an actual touring band and pretend to be real musicians. So that was what was happening at the Hard Rock, was us just like throwing together something at the last minute.
So how did Chris end up with your music? That's got to be pretty wild.
Yeah, he's just got his ear to the ground. He knows everything that's going on. He's just one of those guys. The EPs were kind of circulating by this point, so uh, the pipeline was Martin Smith from Delirious got a hold of them. Being from the UK, he was kind of more connected, and then he passed it on to Tomlin, and then from Tomlin, it kind of got out there. So yeah, that's how it happened.
So you moved from Ireland to do a Bible study in Nashville then?
Well, the Bible study was back in Ireland. We moved
Okay.
we moved to the States just to start touring. We didn't really officially move until about 2017, so it's not that recent. For years, we just toured and couch surfed and did all the stuff that you do as a young musician.
Okay.
Sticking your
Okay.
hand down the back of the van seats, trying to find change so you can buy McDonald's, that sort of stuff.
Got it.
Wow.
Got it. Got it.
Well, we are loving this new song, Fight of My Life. You guys describe it as a joyful song about mental health.
Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The song's really dear to me because it's really about my journey with depression. I never really thought that it was a song that I was going to play in front of people. There's always a group of songs that I think are just for me, and I thought that this was it. But I, I kind of realized that maybe people need songs and prayers to pray that are about things other than victory all the time. I think a lot of us are struggling. Maybe most of us are struggling. Jesus said, "In this world, you'll have trouble," and I think if there's ever been a verse of scripture that is obviously true, there it is. We've all experienced that. And the more I talk to people, the more people were encountering depression, but they maybe didn't really have the language to take that to God. Or certainly maybe didn't feel like it was a normal experience, or that it was something that was compatible with still being a professing, practicing, healthy Christian, and that it's just something that happens to us as human beings. So the song is kind of all about just providing a prayer for people, providing a prayer for myself, asking for joy in the middle of one of those valleys.
Well, and you've been pretty open about, your own struggle. And so how do you handle keeping mental health in a good place and in check nowadays compared to maybe those first few weeks when you were experiencing these emotions that you're like, I don't know what this is?
Yeah, so I think God and therapy is a really good combo. I don't think we have to pick a lane there. I think both together is certainly the key in my experience anyway. And I think not being afraid of any of those human interventions, not being afraid of pharmaceuticals. That's not my story particularly, but not being afraid of that as an expression of God's grace to us, by allowing us access to those things, that could just help us get a little bit more of a grip on reality, and bring us back to a more positive headspace. I think that's something that I really learned in that journey, for sure.
Chris, did you find your counselor like right off? So many people will say, I know I need help, but it's overwhelming to find that counselor, to make that connection. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so actually, I went through a couple of therapists before I found a good fit, and I think that that's something maybe people don't realize right away, is that it's like any relationship, really. If there's not a connection, that's okay. It's okay to cycle through a few people until you find something that really works. So yeah, it's about my second or third attempt before I found somebody who like really seemed to understand where I was at, and I would recommend to anybody that they bother to go through that process and know that they're uh, entitled to do that, and that it's not going to offend a therapist. It's part of the job. So that was part of it, and also the therapist that I eventually landed on came as a recommendation from a pastor friend that I trusted a lot. So I think that can be real help too. Finding somebody who maybe has a similar heartbeat to yourself, and seeing what they do.
I love you saying that because I think people, once they get to the point that they know they need a therapist, then the first one doesn't work, and they're like, "Okay, this isn't going to work for me." It's like a dismissal, and I love what you said. There's such truth in that. It's a relationship. It's a relationship to get us back to that whole peaceful place.
Right, exactly.
So, as you've been open about it on social media, you've got the song, that's out now. What's been the response like as you all have kind of made this an open space for folks to say, "Hey, that's me too."
Yeah, it's amazing. In opening up that conversation, I feel like people have just flooded through that open door. You open the door a crack for people to talk about mental health struggles, and stuff that people have been holding inside for years starts to kind of flood out. The number of stories that I've heard about, and it's really sad, the number of stories that I've heard about, particularly young people, with even suicidal ideation and things like that, struggling through uh, those things. It's been heavy, but I'm just glad it's kind of out in the light. I'm glad that people are feeling the confidence to say that out loud. I think that's surely the first step. If you're not able to talk about something, it's a problem. Mr. Rogers would say, if it's mentionable, it's manageable.
Ooh,
Got to remember that one.
good. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I know. A lot of my wisdom comes from Daniel Tiger and Fred Rogers. So that's the stage of life I'm in as a parent.
Well, Father's Day is coming up soon. What is it like being a dad? Any wisdom that has been passed down to you from your father?
Yes, my goodness. I think I owe him my entire musical career. He taught me how to play guitar for one, but that's actually not what I think about. He very early on explained to me that the only thing that matters in music is energy. It's the only thing that people connect with. It's like, if people can't feel what you're doing, there's no point playing perfectly. And I took that very much to heart. And I think, yeah, I think I owe our career to him for that. Just remembering to put energy first and perfection second.
Well, in the times that I've seen you guys in concert, yes, you bring the energy for sure.
It's a big calorie burn. I even think it's funny talking about the song "Fight of My Life." The conversation we had seems really heavy, but the song is like very up tempo, and has joy right in the front of the chorus. Yeah, energy is just it's all through the DNA. I can't stop it.
I love that though, because we have certain topics as followers of Jesus that we think, oh, we've got to be somber. We have to talk about this, and we can't have any energy about it because that's disrespectful. And I love that you're unwilling to be boxed in the world's picture of that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I just don't find that a sad song is always what helps me. to get out of that rut. It isn't necessarily what I want. I want something a bit more defiant than that. So
Well, I love the artwork that goes along with this song. You've got the knight with the sword and this ginormous fire-breathing dragon. Like, what inspired that to be the artwork to go with the song?
I'm not sure. I was a big part of the process with that. All of our illustrations come from Jordan, who works with us in our social media. So it's all in house. So it's all about like conversations we have on the road or whatever. But I think there's something about we wanted to keep that almost like medieval imagery because it's sort of to us it feels like folk art. So it makes sense with like our whole vibe, and like something that feels like ancient makes sense for our Irish roots. So I think that's the energy behind it. But also, I think we wanted to make sure. I remember an original version of that had the monster was much closer in size to the knight. And I just don't think that's what depression feels like. The illusion of depression, whenever you're in it, is that it is absolutely insurmountable. It feels like it's the only experience you're ever going to have again in your life. It just feels like it's all around you and it's inescapable. Um, and that is an illusion, but it's how it feels. It feels like a towering monster. So we wanted to capture that a little bit.
I think you did it. Derek just showed it to me, and I was like, it immediately makes you respond. It really does.
That's great. I'll have to pass that on.
Yeah, yeah. If you weren't doing music, Chris, what would you do?
It probably sounds boring, but I think I probably would have maybe been an attorney or something like that. I'm a real like I'm a stickler for reading the manual,
Oh,
for knowing the rules, for fine details. It makes me a joy to be married to. I'm told.
I'm gonna start praying for your wife.
Yeah, I would. It might be too late, but
I'm messing
yeah,
with you. I'm messing.
she feels like yeah, I'm usually prepared for a trial or a deposition at any moment. So
Wow.
Wow.
So do you watch a lot of like Law and Order and things like that?
no,
I do.
I don't
No,
think
I
it
was
would
like,
be
hey,
good
yeah.
for me. Yeah, it would keep me in that
Um,
headspace too much.
Chris, we have a fun question that we like to ask. If you could have dinner with somebody from the Bible, and listen, we already know that the number one would be Jesus, so that's a given. All
Sure, yeah.
right. Who would you have dinner with?
All right, let me think. Okay, I think I really want to. I would want to talk to somebody who had been healed or had an encounter with Jesus. I immediately thought of Zacchaeus. I want what happened after that story. You know,
Yeah.
what happened after he came down from the tree and they all had dinner together. What was the rest of that life like? I imagine it was transformed in really beautiful ways, but we don't hear much about that. There's all these kind of like loose threads of stories, like the like lepers who walk away with clean skin, but that's the end of it. So any one of these people, that's who I want to hear from.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. And you would document it and you would put it in detail.
Yeah. There would be extensive notes. You wouldn't believe it.
Cross-examine Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
Is this your statement? For real, Zacchaeus.
Where were you on the afternoon of?
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
is there a song right now that's not a Rend Collective song that's really impacting you, whether it's just fun, impactful, or whether it's challenging, encouraging, impactful?
Yeah. I mean, I imagine there's a lot of people who share this answer, but I think Hard Fought Hallelujah is fantastic.
Mm.
Yep.
I think for me, inside Christian music, I'm just loving seeing the move towards a little bit more rawness and honesty. And I feel like both musically and lyrically, that song is just a breath of fresh air in so many ways. Also, it has a Northern Irish co-writer on it, so I had to mention that.
Oh, who
Yeah,
is that?
Benjamin William Hastings.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
right.
I
That's
know you
right.
can't tell because he spent too much time in Australia. He's half-mast with his accent. It's all over the place now. So, but
Well,
yeah,
Chris,
I'll keep reminding everybody he's one of our own.
my dad's family was O'Gormley's. I've never been to Ireland, but it's on my bucket list. I'm going. I'm going for
Yeah,
sure.
oh, you definitely should.
I have to.
I would guess your family's probably from. There's a place called Glengormley's.
Probably,
I would say
probably.
the Valley of the Gormleys. Uh,
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Now I'm all
yeah, so
excited.
you'll know where to go. I'm not sure. I can't remember if it's like worth visiting or not.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, when you get there, just
It'll be all
call up
right.
Chris and be like,
Hey, I need your number. Hey,
That's right.
Chris,
That's what to
walk
do.
me through this.
I can certainly. My advice for anybody visiting Ireland is stick to the edges. That if you can't currently see water, you're doing Ireland wrong.
Okay.
There's only a very small amount of landlocked space. So just stay out to the edges.
Well, I would do that because I have gills. So I
Oh,
always
very
want to be
good.
close to them. I always want to be close. That's probably why, because I got Irish blood. Chris, this just came to mind, and I just want to ask this question with honor. I have two people in my life right now that are battling severe mental issues. And one of the questions that we're asking is, what are you afraid of? When you went through recognizing depression, did you recognize that God was showing you there was something you were afraid of? And what we're trying to do is, what's that fear? I'm trying to do it,
Mm.
but I'm curious, does that resonate with you?
Like, what's the fear underneath it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I think in my case, the kind of depression resolved itself once I was. What I was afraid of was really, um, I guess, having a really hard look at some things in my life that needed to change, but it was very uncomfortable. Uh, it was going to be a bit of a process. It was like it was some stuff inside some of my relationships that was very unhealthy, and I'd chosen not to look at it or deal with it, and I've been very passive around it. So I think that was what I was afraid of, was really just the hard work and the conflict that was required to kind of move forward.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
well, we so appreciate that you are using the platform that God's given you to talk about bring to light a topic and maybe open up that conversation for folks who have been afraid so far to talk about it and to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I think the more the church can get better at hosting these conversations, uh, I just think society as a whole will benefit when the church learns how to talk about mental health. It'll be such a powerful combination because, as I mentioned, I think therapy is powerful. I think God is powerful. And when we use them together, that is the most potent combination for overcoming this both spiritual and psychological condition that a lot of us struggle through. And yet so many of us just pick one or the other, and I think it leaves so much on the table as far as healing is concerned.
I love that. It makes me think of First Thessalonians, where God says He sanctifies us body, mind, and spirit. I think so many times we think about our body and our spirit, but there's just stigma and wrong information about mental health. I just love that you're available and authentic about it. You've brought light. It started with darkness, but you've brought light, and you'll continue to, because every time your song is released on the air, the truth is occupying the air, and you've been faithful to do that.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Mm.